Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's session, we are going to understand session management in servlets, which is a very important concept in Java web applications. This lecture is part of Java programming course, and we will focus on how servlets handle user sessions using techniques like HTTP session, session tracking, timeout, and session destruction. Before we move ahead, let us quickly revise what we studied in the previous lecture. We discussed servlet communication techniques such as send, redirect method, forward method, include method. These methods help servlets communicate with each other and control request flow inside a web application. Let me start with an interesting question. If HTTP is stateless, how does a shopping website remember the items in your cart when you move from one page to another? This question highlights the core problem we are going to solve today, that is maintaining user state in web applications. By the end of this session, you will clearly understand why session management is needed, how HTTP session works, different session tracking techniques, session lifecycle, timeout, and destruction. These concepts are not only important practically, but are also exam oriented. Here is the roadmap of today's lecture. Need for session management, HTTP session fundamentals, session tracking techniques, session lifecycle and timeout, session destruction and security. The HTTP protocol is stateless, which means each request is independent. The server does not remember previous interactions, but real-world applications require memory such as user login, shopping carts, online exams. Session management helps in identifying users uniquely, maintaining continuity across multiple requests. So the key question is, how does a server recognize the same user across multiple requests? HTTP session is an interface provided by the Servlet API. It represents a server-side session for a specific user. A session is created automatically when required using HTTP session equal to request.getSession method. We can store user-specific data like this session.set attribute username comma Amit. Important point to remember is session data is stored on the server, not in the browser. Let us understand session management using a simple use case. We will use three servlets: login servlet, welcome servlet, logout servlet. In the login servlet, we first read the username from the login form, then we create or retrieve a session using request.getSession method. The username is stored inside the session as an attribute. This allows the server to remember the logged in user across multiple requests. In the welcome servlet, we use request.getSession false. This means do not create a new session. Return null if the session already expired. If the session is null, we show a message saying that the session has expired. Otherwise, we retrieve the username from the session and displays a welcome message. In the logout servlet, we again uses get session false to avoid creating a new session. If the session exists, we destroy it using session.invalidate method. This removes session ID, all stored attributes, server side memory. This step is critical for security. Let us understand some important lines. At the rate web servlet slash login, it maps the servlet to the slash login URL, request.get parameter username. It fetches user input, request.get session. It creates a new session if one does not exist. Otherwise, it returns the existing session. Session.set attribute stores data on the server for session tracking. Get session false is the best practice for validation. It avoids creating unnecessary sessions. If the session is null, it means session expired. User must log in again. Session.get attribute retrieves previously stored data, proving session tracking. Get session false avoids unnecessary session creation. Invalidate method destroys the session immediately. This ensures security, memory cleanup, no unauthorized access. To summarize the flow, login creates a session, welcome page uses the same session, logout destroys the session. Important points for exams are HTTP session is a server side, session ID is stored using cookies or URL rewriting, get session versus get session false, browser close does not immediately destroy a session. There are multiple session tracking techniques, cookies, URL rewriting, hidden form fields, HTTP session. HTTP session is preferred because data is stored on the server, more secure, and it is also automatically managed. A session starts when getSession method is called. Each session has a unique session ID. Timeout can be set using session.setMax inactive interval. So 1800 as a parameter. A common misconception is closing the browser does not immediately destroy the session. Sessions should always be destroyed explicitly during logout. Benefits are it prevents unauthorized access, frees server memory. Security best practices are to avoid storing sensitive data. Use always HTTPS. Regenerate session after login. To conclude, session management solves HTTP statelessness. HTTP session is the most robust solution. Proper timeout and invalidation are critical. Security depends on correct session handling. This activity helps reinforce learning. Think about why a user is logged out automatically after inactivity. Discuss with your partner which session technique is involved and how timeout works. Finally, finally share your answers and discuss best practices like invalidation and security. Now we will be solving a uh, case-based come scenario-based programming problem. Problem is in front of us. A university web portal uses servlets to manage student login, course registration, and servlet viewing. In the A part, we have to design a servlet-based solution using HTTP session for session management. B part, evaluate different session tracking techniques in the context. In this context, C part, critically analyze performance, scalability, and security concerns. So as usual, I have created a project named University Portal Example 1 in Eclipse IDE, and SRC main Java contains package com.university, and inside this we are having a servlet program named Student Portal Servlet.java, and in the web app folder, in this web app folder we are having number of HTML files. First of all, I would like to explain Student Portal Servlet.java file. Let me close this Project Explorer. First line, so this servlet manages a student portal using HTTP session. It handles login, course registration, result viewing, and logout in a single servlet. First line is package com.university. It places the servlet inside the com.university package, helps organize the project logically. Then we are having import statements. These imports provide servlet lifecycle support, HTTP request and response handling, session management using HTTP session, output writing to the browser. Then we are having this annotation at the rate web servlet. This map it maps this servlet to the URL pattern slash portal. Any request sent to slash portal will be handled by this servlet. Then we are having this class student portal servlet. The servlet extends HTTP servlet, enables handling of HTTP methods like get and post. Then we are having this do post method, line number 17. This method handles form submissions such as login, course registration. Then do post method. HTTP servlet request is to receive client data. HTTP servlet response is used to send output to the browser. Then we are having string action. It reads the hidden field action from HTML form, determines which operation to perform, login or register. Response dot set content type uh, and print writer. It tells the browser that response is HTML. Print writer is used to print output on the browser. Then we are having if login dot equals action. It executes when user submits login form. Then string student ID and string name. It retrieve user input from login form. Then HTTP session equal to request dot get session. It creates a new session if none exists or retrieves an existing session. Session dot set attribute. Session dot set attribute and it stores student details on the server side, enables session tracking across multiple pages. Then response dot send the redirect. Uh, it redirects user to dashboard after successful login. Then else if register dot equals action, this line number 37. Uh, it executes when course registration form is submitted. Then HTTP session equal to request.getSession, it retrieves existing session without creating a new one. It returns null if session has expired. Then this if session is equal to null, response.send redirect, it prevents unauthorized access, redirects user to login page if session does not exist. Then this string course reads selected course, stores course information in session. Then out.println, it displays confirmation message to the user that is course registered successfully. Then we are having this do-get method, line number 54. This method handles viewing results, logout, then string action equal to request.get parameter. It determines which whether user wants to view result, logout, HTTP session equal to request.get session, ensures no new session is created, used for validation and security. If result dot equals action and it executes when user clicks view result. If session is equal to null, uh, respond dot send redirect ensures session exists, prevents result access without login. Then we are having string name is equal to line number 71. It retrieves student name from session out.println result colon pass. It displays result specific to the logged in student else if logout dot equals action. Executes when user clicks logout. If session is not equal to null, session.invalidate method is called and it destroys the session, removes all stored session data, frees server memory, and then out.println, you have been logged out successfully, confirm successful logout. Key concept demonstrated here are HTTP session creation, session tracking across pages, session validation using get session false, secure logout using invalidate method, protection against unauthorized access. This servlet demonstrates effective session management using HTTP session to handle login, course registration, result viewing, and secure logout in a university web portal. Now I will be explaining all the HTML files one by one. First of all, login.html file. Login.html file. This HTML file provides a login page for the university web portal. It collects student details and sends them to the servlet for session creation. Line number one, doc type HTML. It tells the browser that this page is written in HTML5 and shows proper rendering across all browsers. Then we are having HTML tag. Represent the root element of the HTML document. All content of the page is written inside this tag. Then head and title tag and contains meta information about the page. The title text appears on the browser tab as student login. Then body tag holds all the visible content shown to the user. Heading as to University portal login. It displays a heading on the page. Inform the user that this is the login page of the University portal. Form action equal to portal creates a form to collect user input. Action equal to portal means it sends the form data to the servlet mapped with slash portal. Method equal to post. It uses HTTP post method for secure data submission. Input type is equal to hidden. This field is not visible to the user. It sends the value login. It sends the value login to the servlet. Help the servlet identify that this request is for login functionality. Student ID colon allows the student to enter their ID. Name is equal to student ID used by the servlet to retrieve the value. Required ensures the field cannot be left empty. Then name colon allows the student to enter their name also marked as required. Input type equal to submit and it creates a login button. When clicked, the form data is sent to the servlet. The servlet creates an HTTP session. Then we are having BRBR, adds spacing between form elements, improves readability of the page. Then all these three tags are closed. Form body HTML properly closes the form and document structure. So what happens after clicking login? User enters student ID and name, clicks login, and data is sent to slash portal. Servlet creates HTTP session. Servlet stores student details. Servlet redirects to dashboard page. This HTML page collects student login details and sends them to servlet using post method where HTTP session is created for session management. Next, I will be explaining dashboard.html file. This page acts as the main control panel for a logged in student. From here, the student can register for courses, view results, log out. All these actions depend on valid HTTP session. So doc type HTML line number one declares that the document follows HTML5 standards, ensures consistent rendering in modern browsers. Then HTML tag represent the root container of the HTML page. Then the head and title tag sets the page title as dashboard. The title appears on the browser tab. Then the body tag contains all the visible content shown to the student. Then heading student dashboard. It displays the heading of the page. It indicates that this is the dashboard page after successful login. After that, anchor tag ahref equal to register.html. It provides a link to the course registration page. When clicked, opens register.html file. The actual registration is later handled by the servlet. Then BRBR adds spacing for the better layout. Another anchor tag. It sends a get request to the servlet mapped as slash portal, passes the parameter action equal to result. The servlet checks whether the session exists, displays result only if the user is logged in. Then another anchor tag uh, sends a request to the servlet with action equal to logout. The servlet invalidates the session, log the user out securely. So how session management works here? This page itself does not create a session. It relies on the session created during login. All protected actions go through the servlet for validation. The dashboard page provides navigation links for course registration, result viewing, and logout, all of which are controlled by a servlet using HTTP session for session validation. Then we are having register.html file. I'm explaining. Let me connect my charger because battery is going down. Just a minute. So we have opened register.html file and uh, let me register.html file. This HTML page allows a logged in student to select and register a course. The selected course is sent to the servlet where it is stored using HTTP session. First line is as usual doc type HTML. It declares that the page uses HTML5 and it ensures proper browser rendering. Then we are having the HTML tag, and the HTML tag represents the root element that contains the entire HTML document. Then we are having head and title tag. Then we are having head and title tag, that is here, line number 4. Sets the browser tab title to course registration, provides basic page information. Then body tag contains all visible content shown to the user. Then heading S2 register course. It displays a heading indicating the purpose of the page, clearly informs the student that this page is for course registration. Then form action equal to portal. It creates a form to submit data to the servlet. Action equal to portal means sends data to the servlet mapped with slash portal. Method equal to post means uses post method for data submission. Then input type is equal to hidden, not visible to the user. Sends the value registered to the servlet. Helps the servlet identify this request as a course registration request. Then select name equal to course. Creates a drop down list of courses. Name equal to course is used by the servlet to retrieve the selected value. Then we are having option tags. Java programming web technology. So it provides the predefined course choices, prevents invalid input and improves user experience. Then BR tag adds spacing between form elements, improves readability and layout. Then input type is equal to submit, displays a register button. When clicked, sends the selected course to the servlet. Servlet stores the course in the session. Then form and body HTML tags are closed, which are used for properly closing the form and document structure. So what happens after clicking register? Student selects a course, clicks register, form sends data to slash portal, servlet checks if session exists, stores selected course using HTTP session, displays registration success message. So this HTML page allows students to select and register a course, sending the selected course to a servlet where it is processed and stored using HTTP session. Then we are having this result.html file. This HTML page provides a link to view the student's result. The actual result is not stored in this page and it is fetched and displayed by the servlet using HTTP session. First line is doc type HTML, declares that the document follows HTML5 standards. It ensures correct rendering in modern browsers. Then we are having HTML tag that represents the main container for the entire HTML document. Then head and title tag sets the browser tab title to result, provides page identification. Then body tag contains all content visible to the user. Then heading S2 displays a message guiding the student, indicates that the clicking the link will show the result. Then we are having anchor tag. It creates a clickable link. It sends a get request to the servlet mapped as slash portal, passes the parameter action equal to result. What happens when the link is clicked? Request is sent to the student portal servlet. Servlet checks if HTTP session exists. If session is valid, student name is retrieved from session. Result is displayed. If the session is invalid, user is redirected to login.html. Why session management is important here? It prevents unauthorized users from viewing results. It ensures results are shown only to logged in students, maintains continuity across requests. So this HTML page provides a link to request the student's result from the servlet, which validates the session and displays the result using HTTP session. Then I am having logout.html file. This HTML page provides a logout option for the student. When clicked, it sends a request to the servlet, which destroys the HTTP session securely. Then doc type HTML declares that the document uses HTML5, ensures proper display in all modern browsers. Then we are having this HTML tag represents the root container of the HTML document. Head and title tag sets the browser tab title to logout, helps identify the purpose of the page. Then we are having this body tag, contains visible content shown to the user. Then anchor tag creates a clickable logout link, sends a get request to the servlet mapped as slash portal, passes the parameter action equal to logout. What happens when logout is clicked? Request goes to the student portal servlet. Servlet retrieves existing session using get session false. Session is destroyed using session.invalidate method. All session data is removed. User is logged out securely. Why this is important? Because it prevents unauthorized access after logout. It clears server-side session data. It frees server memory, ensures proper security. This HTML page provides a logout link that sends a request to the servlet where the HTTP session is invalidated to securely log the user out. Closing the browser does not immediately destroy the session, therefore explicit logout using invalidate method is required. So we have successfully, now I will be running this login.html file. So right click on login.html and then run as server and select this Tomcat version 11 and click on finish. Enter ID, student ID as 101, name Amit. When we click on login button, so student dashboard is displayed. Then click on course registration. There are three courses being displayed in drop down form. Let us select Java programming and click register button. Course registered successfully, and now course is Java programming. We can also go back to dashboard. Then we can also view the result. You can see here the result of Amit is passed. Then back to dashboard. Click on logout button, and you have been logged out successfully. You can also log in again by clicking on this button. Clear. Now we'll be solving the B part. That is evaluate different session tracking techniques in this context. So the first technique is cookies, and it is as far as suitability for university portal is concerned, cookies is limited, and cookies can store session ID but can be disabled by users. As far as second technique URL rewriting is concerned, it is not ideal for university portal. It exposes session ID in URL. It is gives a security risk. Third technique is hidden form fields, and it is very poor, not suitable for university portal. It works only for form-based navigation. And the fourth session tracking technique is the HTTP session, and it is the best choice for university portal, and it is because it is secure, server-side, and scalable. Why HTTP session is preferred? Because it combines cookies and server-side storage. Session ID is hidden from users, suitable for multi-page authenticated systems. So the conclusion is HTTP session is the most reliable and secure technique for a university portal. Now we'll be solving C part, critically analyze performance, scalability, and security concerns. The challenges associated with the performance are sessions consume server memory, large session objects reduce performance. Now how to mitigate or reduce these performance concern? First is to store the minimal data, that is IDs instead of objects. Set appropriate session timeout, or you can also clean up unused sessions. Second is scalability concerns. Ranges associated are thousands of students accessing simultaneously, session replication needed in clustered servers. How to reduce this scalability concern? You can use distributed session management, you can use database backed or external session stores, or load balancing with session stickiness. Third is the security concerns. Threats associated with security are session hijacking, session fixation, or unauthorized access after logout. Best practices is to use HTTPS or regenerate session ID after login, invalidate session on logout. Or you can also avoid storing sensitive data in session. So, final conclusion is HTTP session effectively manages student sessions. It is superior to manual session tracking techniques. Proper configuration ensures good performance, scalability, and security, and it is essential for real-world multi-user university systems. With that being said, we conclude this lecture here, and thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel, and see you in the next session.